All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shots Fired Podcast. Today I'm talking a little bit about the crisis at the southern border, the Texas border, all the stuff. If you're not following along with that, you probably should. There's a lot of things going on with that. But basically, what has happened in the past week, the Texas National Guard, the governor of Texas deployed the Texas National Guard, pretty much kicked out the feds, kicked out the Border Patrol to re-secure the border. Because, I mean, as we all know, there's no border right now. Like, they're just letting everybody come through by the millions. And it's affecting a lot of people in a lot of different ways. I know they're being bused to other states like New York, Chicago, other cities. And just pretty much, just being let go. Just they're giving them hotels. Some of them are giving them hotels, or they're even. One thing that kind of really, I think, bothered me was that they closed a school in New York to house these immigrants, and it's getting bad to where, there's a lot of reported illegal aliens that are doing harm to people. So one of the things that they're doing is they're sending like a woman and children to people's houses or apartments, and they are knocking on the door, and when you answer the door, they're asking if you have any like spare change or anything like that. And the second that you go to look for some money or something like that, like 3 or 4 guys are coming, kicking the door in, tying you up, and stealing everything that you got. And that's a serious problem that we have, with dealing with this. And that's just one of the I don't want to say it's a small thing, but that's just one of the things that are going on. I mean, think about all the other possible things that could be happening, I mean, we're literally having people by the millions come into our country that we don't even know really where they're coming from, what they want, if they're like actual just like trying to find a better place to live, trying to get away from some things, or they're trying to do harm to us, American citizens, Americans. But going back to the southern border thing, so there's a lot going on with that, right? If you keep up with it, and the White House is pissed, right? They got kicked out. Texas is like, fuck off, we got this, we could do a better job than you've been doing, type thing, right? And I agree with it. I think that these states that are on these borders should be able to control their own borders. And let's not forget about the northern border too. Like, they're coming, it's not just, from Mexico. I think they're coming in that way because they found it a lot easier. I don't know. But if you really think about it, like, they're coming from everywhere. It's not just that. It's, they're coming from the ocean still, from the East Coast and the West Coast. They're coming from up in Canada, coming down. And it's if you really think about it, some bad things could happen. You don't know what kind of people are here. But the latest thing is, right, so the Texas National Guard kicked out the feds. And the White House response was, you need to let us back in within 24 hours or else. And I've been seeing all these videos, or else what? Or else what, Joe? Or else what? And I think that shit is hilarious, right? It's a little comedy to a bad situation, right? I think that's always a good thing. But so then I guess they try to take it to like the Supreme Court or whatever. And the judges are like, no, we ain't dealing with it. We ain't doing this, right? Which I think is a good thing too. Like, let these states, they should be able to control their own borders. And if they need help, say they're getting, too many people coming in, or they don't have the employees, or whatever you want to say, the facilities to do all this stuff, then they should reach out to the federal government and say, hey, we need some help. Can you provide us with X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, whether it be Border Patrol, money, whatever it is. That's how I think it should work, and not that the way it's been going on is the federal government just does whatever they want to do, pretty much, for the most part. And there's a lot of states that are actually sending their troops down there as well, and you got to think about it. Like, the National Guard is a branch of the military, and yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I don't really know how to explain it. They are getting paid and things like that, but they're controlled. They get deployed by the states. And just like whenever the BLM movement thing was going on, and they had it in, I think it was DC when the riots were going on. I think it was DC. And they had the National Guards down there, setting up security and stuff like that. That's things that the states deploy out, and that's kind of what it's for. And we should be putting our own money and our own troops into securing our borders, right? But now, since the Supreme Court pretty much said we ain't doing it or whatever, right? The White House put out a thing saying that you'll get fined $5,000 and or up to 3 years in jail. So my question is, I didn't look deep into it. I seen it, I read it, but is it every, like, the National Guard, is it every person that's down there in the National Guard is going to get fined $5,000 and or up to 3 years in jail? Like, that's crazy. Because literally, like, these guys, whether, what you think you're doing is right or wrong or whatever, they're pretty much taking orders. Hey, like, like every other, you got to do what you're told to do for the most part. Unless, like, you really want to stand up against something and you believe that what they're doing is wrong, then that's a different story. But I think most of Americans agree with this. Like, even, I think it was the governor or maybe mayor, I don't remember, of New York was saying, like, they're trying to do this open up your homes thing. It wasn't New York, maybe it was Chicago, I don't remember. But open up your homes, like, have a family live with you. Like, what? Like, I get all for, helping people out and different things like that, like in people of need, but come on, really? Especially with the way our economy is right now, people can barely afford their own families, and you want them to bring in a whole nother family that you don't even know. These people, you don't know what they're capable of, what their intentions are, and you're gonna have them live in your home. Pretty much, you're taking care of them. Now, is there some benefits? I don't know. Like, is there some type of, like, tax break, or, are they going to get stipend for it, for bringing these families in? I don't know. Maybe that's what I would think would happen. Like, hey, you take this family of 4 in, or whatever, we'll give you an extra, I don't know, X amount of dollars a month for helping this family out, which I think that would be good. I think maybe if they did it that way, maybe some people would do that. I don't know, but it's crazy, right? And to think about it, right, everything that's going on, and I'm going to bring this up and talk about this a little bit. Think about the Civil War. And a lot of people don't understand, like, yeah, the Civil War was, about slavery, yes and no, and there's a lot of things you could talk about with that. But, I mean, it kind of was the start of a lot longer process, but a civil rights movement, right? But that's not exactly why the Civil War was just fought. Like, that was just put into place as it was going on. It started because the federal government was occupying territory that states owned, and they wanted them to leave. And the federal government was like, no, we're not leaving. And the states were like, fuck you. Yeah, you are. And that's pretty much how it started. And there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more things that happened, a lot of other things, like just like the whole presidential ballot thing that is going on. I don't even know if that's really a thing anymore, because you don't hear much about it, because I feel like the media talks about what's hot right now and then forgets about it 3 days later, just like when they're talking about taking, Biden was saying that these states or whatever need to take Trump's presidential ballot off of the ballots, so you couldn't vote for him. And that was part of the reason why Another thing, during the Civil War, that's what they did to Lincoln. You know, they trying to take his name off of ballots, so he couldn't run again. They didn't want him to. And what's crazy is, and I'm not going to go deep into this because this is like a whole nother topic, or I don't know, another wormhole, but people like Democrats were the ones that wanted slavery, wanted to keep it. And I don't think people really understand that or know that. And it's not, you know, one side's better than the other. I'm not Democratic or I'm not a Republican. I'm like in the middle. And I'll be honest with you, like people, you know, use their right to vote, and that's a big thing. And I agree. But like for real, the way it is now, the way I kind of look at it, and I really never really paid a lot of attention to politics, except for I say, since Obama's presidency, I started paying a little bit of attention to what was going on, you know, and then Trump's presidency, and then obviously, you know, Biden's, but it's a lot of crazy accusations and a lot of hectic things, you know, like I don't want to get into the whole political thing, but I'm kind of going down there, but I think they already have it made up who's going to be president at any given time. Like it's not, I don't think our votes matter. I think they should. I think I don't know when, but somewhere along the line, the government, instead of working for us, we started working for them. I don't know at what point in time that started happening, but literally that's how it is. Like it's just how it is now, and it's completely wrong and backwards. Like we don't work for the government; they work for us. And I think we need to make a bigger voice as, you know, people in America that's how it is. That's how it was founded. That's why it is the way it is. Because before, you know, that big war they fought, you know, about America being its own country was partially about that as well. But I don't know. Things, food for thought. What do they say? Food for thought, fruit for thought, something like that. But really think about it. And young people nowadays, you know, need to really start paying more attention because it's gonna affect. Like obviously, it's affecting us now, and we're still gonna be alive in the future, hopefully. But the younger generation that's coming up now, the kids that are like in high school right now or middle school, you know, that are coming up, it's gonna affect them a lot. And it's going to affect us too, because like I said, hopefully we're still around, but it's going to affect them mostly, you know, and it's affecting the people just coming out of high school right now with the way housing market is, the prices of everything, inflation and all that stuff. It's crazy. But I'm kind of getting off topic here with the southern border. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Texas is in the right? Are they in the wrong? Your honest opinions. You know, I don't on this little podcast we got going on, I don't judge anybody for what they think is right or wrong, you know, and nobody else should be judged with that's your opinion, what you believe. But I think it should be able to have an open conversation about it and understand each other's sides, you know, not make it in, because I feel like all these political people, they get on these radio shows and they get, you know, start talking about what they think and this and that, and they get attacked, right? Instead of having this conversation, they get ridiculed and everything that they have done. Everybody has a past, you know. Everybody got a past and everybody has done things wrong. But hear people out. So that's what we're trying to do. But I think we need to become a bigger voice of how we feel about things. And I'm not saying go and protest and scream and all this stuff, but do little things, like do walks like MLK used to do. Do marches, do walks. Just let your voice, let it be heard, you know. And I think that's a way that we can make things better for what we actually want in here. But going back, right, to the southern border, after I went on my little hiatus on that one. So they're finding, you know, $5,000, up to $5,000, and or up to 3 years in prison. That's crazy. You're gonna throw all these people. If that's the case, whether it be all the, you know, National Guard people, because I even seen they have what state was it? I think it was Alabama, Tennessee. I can't remember which state it was. They got their state troopers down there helping out. And I think that's good, and a lot of people don't, because what they're doing is, right, they're coming to the border, they're throwing all their IDs, passports, wherever they came from, because they make fake, passports and IDs to get into these other countries, and then they're just ditching them at the border. So they're coming in, and you don't even know who they really are or anything about them. And there's a lot of military-age men coming in, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying about the Civil War. And if you think about it, right, with everything that's going on in the world, you got Ukraine still going on. You got China, all the stuff with China, the Houthis, the things that are going on with the Navy and stuff like that. Yemen, bombing Yemen. You got North Korea still doing their thing. I mean, if you really think about it, that's the making for what? Another World War, right? I know we back-to-back World War champs, baby, but I don't know. And I'm not saying that we can't win this one, because I definitely do. I'm a firm believer that we can, because America is great. But the only way that somebody can beat us is if we turn ourselves inside out. And I think that's what's going on. I think, just think about it. If we did, just like the criteria kind of told you about the Civil War, how that originally started, and look what's going on now. Just learn from the past, right? If we go into a civil war with ourselves, and these other countries that don't like us, we're like, hey, look, America's they're fucking each other up right now. What a better time to fucking attack. Just think about it. Just think about it. Like, for real, really think about it. If we're in turmoil with ourselves, the government can't, the federal government can't get the troops deployed because they're worried about what's going on in America. You got, I don't want to say a rebellion, but, the rebels fighting that back. And if it's an actual, like, a freaking war, a civil war in America, and not just all politic hoopla, if I was a leader of a country that didn't like us, I would watch that shit unfold, and that'd be the time. That would be the time to do it. Now, being American, will we put our differences aside and combat that together? I think it would. I think we would. But it would be wild. It would be crazy. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think it would be crazy. I'm just saying, like, really think about it. And I don't know, but makes you think, right? Makes you think about what's really going on, or what's important to you and what's not important to you, because things are ramping up. And I'm at the point, for real, like, really, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm tired of all this. This could happen, this couldn't happen, this and that. Like, fuck it. Just let it. Let's just fucking get to it. Like, let's just do it. It's at the time, like, you ever been in, I know most of your maybe some people have never been into a fight, like in high school or whatever. Like, as a kid, you got into a fight with somebody. And there's that one point where you just sitting there, and it'd be both people yakking back and forth at each other, like F you, F your mom, and the crazy shit kids say or whatever. There's that one point where you're just like, fuck it. Now's the time. Like, we're doing this. Like, there's no stopping it. And I feel like that's just what we need to do. Hey, at this point, fuck it. Let it happen or shut the fuck up. Like, right? Step on stage or sit the fuck down. I'm tired of hearing this bullshit. And mainstream media talking about dumbass shit. Like, stop. Either do it or fucking don't at this point. And that's what I'm saying about, we need to become a bigger voice. And I feel like a lot of people probably feel that way. Like, I don't know. Maybe not, but I know I do. I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, just let this shit show unfold. Like, let's see what the fuck happens. Like, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? I don't know. I mean, it could be really bad, but I'm at the point now where I'm just like, fuck it. When can we stop paying our bills? I know everybody else, I see that shit on social media. Just let me know when I can stop paying my bills. That shit is funny as hell to me. But yeah, really think about it though. Like, and I think we need to become a bigger voice of what the American people actually want. And I know there's a lot of good people, programs that are trying, but I feel like we all need to, whatever you think, right? And it's not even about, who's right and who's wrong and type of thing, or judging people for what they believe or whatever, but it's just like, obviously we all know something needs to change. There needs to be a difference made. And I think that's what we need to do, you know. I've been thinking about trying some things myself. Like I said, just doing a walk. Just start walking, and when people start asking what you walking for, you tell them, and maybe they start following you. I don't know, maybe not. And it don't need to be a let's go destroy some shit and start looting type thing. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying a peaceful, just a walk, So it gets recognized that, hey, we out here, and this is what we think, and somebody needs to do something about it. And I think that will raise more eyebrows and cause more attention to what the actual problems are than all the just the chaos that everybody fucking reports on the fucking news, because that's the only time they report anything is whenever shit starts getting fucked up. But I don't think we need to do it like that. I think it needs to be, just somehow. Maybe somebody, if you have a different way or a better way that might work, put it in the comments. Let me know. Like let's figure something out, And I think it needs to be done. But think about what I said on this one. Really think about it. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. And I hate to be the one to say it, but be ready, because 2024, hey, this might be the last episode. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You never know. But 2024, right? The last season. But hey, always shoot your shot. Peace.